Welcome back, guys. We got a guest with us, the one, the legendary Gonzalo, aka Gigi. He is our studio supervisor, IT guru, technical difficulty
Therapist.
therapist. And
he will not give you the answers. He will not spoon feed you the answers.
Right. At least not from him, Yes. So Gigi, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Musical Chairs. If you want to talk a little bit about yourself, how you got into music, what you're doing right now in music, just talk a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. First of all, thank you for having me, guys. Great to be here. I'm sure all four of you know me by now. I studied here about 7 years ago and been an audio engineer for 8 years now. Currently employed here at a church in a broadcasting studio. And on the side, I do theater every now and then. Yeah, that's
all right. Sweet. How
long you been doing the theater gig for?
That's actually how I started with theater gigs. When I first started, the first gig that I landed was at a theater doing stagehands and every now and then audio work. And slowly, surely, I became the A1 at that theater. And that's how I started in theater, and slowly changed into, or not changed, try different stuff like broadcasting, church, and studio, just so I could get a better feel of everything audio related.
You went through this program, correct?
Correct.
So, if you could tell us, do you see any differences between when you went through the program as opposed to us going through it right now? Are there any major differences or what do you think?
Well, big difference is this room that we're in right now recording was an actual TV studio, and they had completely different equipment than what we have now. As you guys know, and I told you, I think last week, this whole studio was in the actual ISO booth, and we had the classes there, so it was a much smaller program like 7 years ago. We don't have a lot of the fancy equipment that we have right now, and it was much smaller, and through the years it's grown little by little. So I mean, I seem like it, but you guys are kind of spoiled at the moment. Yeah. But it's grown little by little.
So I guess talking about this whole space and everything, what is it like running the sessions here at BC?
They're fun, man. They're fun because you see a lot of students who are eager to learn how to run sessions and be audio engineers. And it's always fun to teach them and seeing them grow as audio engineers from zero all the way to actually landing gigs. So they're fun. Some of them can get a little messy. Some of them can,
You don't want to call any names out on the messy ones, though?
No, but there's it has its ups and downs, but for the most part, it's really fun. Like I said, it's fun seeing that the students start learning how to use the equipment, how to run a session on their own, and for me, it's fun to supervise them and helping them and answering their questions whenever they have some. And for me, it's fun. I like it. I like the gig. Yeah,
that's cool.
You also enjoy all the music that you listen to, the new things that every student brings.
Yeah. A lot of students bring sometimes rap. They bring hip hop, reggae, country. So I find out what type of genre they're recording when I get here. So I never really know. So it's fun. It's fun.
And I'm guessing just after, everybody troubleshoots during a session and learns something new, I'm guessing you learn stuff from your students as well and people there, new techniques that you haven't learned or...
Yeah, so sometimes there's things that... A lot of things we have to troubleshoot in the moment, and sometimes there's things that haven't happened before. So if it's something that I know, it's probably something that the students haven't gotten to yet, and I haven't seen it before, I have to troubleshoot it for them and find out what the problem is so we can get an actual session going. But Yeah, most of the time it's fun encountering new problems and solving them and finding solutions to those problems and learning something new every day. Yeah. Whether it's me or the student or anyway, it's fun to learn something new every day.
It builds character.
Sure does.
I wanted to touch on a topic because I guess now that we're getting into this point of a conversation, I was curious if for you being I guess like an audio tech and then also being involved in kind of also educational path as well, what would be like the pros and cons you would say within your industry or your field of work, and how do you best describe that, in what you do?
So I freelance a lot. So there's a lot of pros and cons to when you freelance. So I guess we'll start with the pros. The pros are that if you freelance, you're able to make your own schedule. You can work whenever you want, and whenever you do not want to work, you can schedule yourself as much as you want. And you get to meet different people with different clients. Like for example, here I get to freelance here, and I get to meet different students who record different stuff, different genres at my broadcasting gig. Also, there's different clients of different needs, so it's always something new in terms of projects, in terms of clients, in terms of the vision of the client. So in terms of cons, if you're freelancing, sometimes where things are good, you're busy. But when things are slow, things are slow. So I can't have the liberty of just having one job or two jobs. I have to have at least 3 or 4 at all times, even 5 sometimes, so whenever one slows down, you have another one that will pick up. You can't put all your eggs into just one basket. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it. I'll say those are probably the cons. Sometimes you get clients that are hard to deal with because they're not familiar with like the tech aspect, mm-hmm. and they're wanting certain things or demanding certain things that they might not be familiar with, and sometimes explaining those things to them can be a challenge.
And would you say that it's also you have to have customer service skills in those cases, for example?
For sure, because I think a lot of customer service is communication, and communication is huge when you land gigs. If you take aside the technical aspect of it and you just focus on how you communicate with that client and what they want and how you can make that happen, that's huge. That can either make a gig or break a gig. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that one of the most important aspects is communication with the client. So mm-hmm. it goes back to it almost feeling like customer service in a way. Mm-hmm. So it depends how you handle that communication with the client.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure how you handle certain situations, because a lot of things, you might be under pressure, things might not be going your way, and let's say you break out and you're fighting everyone, you're arguing, you're not helping in that situation, and it's like
it can get messy fast.
Yeah, and I feel like in some sort of way you need to learn how to also you need to have a little bit of tough skin as well. Like you can't just be.
You need to learn how to have your emotions at bay. You can't let those consume you in the middle of a gig. Because I've had, for example, when I first landed the church gig, I never had any experience with church at all. So, and I was learning the board that they have and to their service, like the flow of the service. Mm-hmm. So I had the bishop behind me and a board that I had to learn in the fly while he's asking me to do things. So that can get a little bit, it can get me a little bit anxious and a little bit frustrated when I'm trying to let him know that, hey, let me learn the board first and then I can help you with whatever you need. Mm-hmm. But you have to be very careful how you relay that message back to him, because they can take it the wrong way and be like, hey, this guy doesn't know, or this guy's not doing it fast enough, or whatever. So
Sometimes it's like on the fly. You just have to accept what it is and hope for the best. You know, at that
sometimes they
point.
throw you in the fire and you just
Yeah.
have to learn.
Yeah, like
It's
that's
the way it
that's
is.
you're only gonna learn if you maybe if you get burnt in that situation, and then you learn. Okay, well, like now
You learn
now-
a lot when you're in those difficult
Yeah.
situations. When you're like, well, I have to make this happen. If not, I lose the gig. So
Yeah.
you learn a lot about yourself and the gig as you're learning in the moment, which sometimes can be frustrating because I've been there. But like Arturo said, that builds a lot of character and it sets you up for different gigs.
Do you, go ahead, my bad.
No, I was gonna ask you. So, what was your introduction or your entry into music? Like, how did that start?
Into music or as a audio engineer?
How did you start dipping your feet into the
Into the industry, I would say, yeah. Was it through music and like production, or was it?
Well, I've always, man, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been involved in music. I've started listening to like electronic music when I was very, very young. My mom has always been a disco freak. She loved disco. My dad has been into percussion ever since he was a young kid as well. So that slowly but surely, I knew that I wanted to do something music related or audio related. So when I graduated from high school, at the beginning, I was trying to figure out what exactly it is I wanted to do. I didn't find a program that was audio related and obviously affordable. So I found about the BC program, and I was instantly hooked. I liked it from the beginning, from the first intro class with Racquetball, as I'm sure most of you have had.
Yeah.
And from there, I was hooked. I knew that that was what I wanted to do. And luckily, I was studying with a cool group of students, and one of them was already working at a theater, at Hollywood Performing Arts. And I got really close with that student, and he opened the door for me to landing the job there as a stagehands first, and then as the A1. So that's where it all started with the theater job, and then I thought theater can't be the only thing that you can
Right.
be an audio engineer at.
Yeah.
So that's when I started working here as well. I worked with Fernando. Most of you know, I'm sure, Fernando. And he opened the door for me as well to work here because he liked my I guess the way that I worked and the way that I run my sessions and
Your work
how-
ethic.
Huh?
Your work ethic.
Yeah, exactly. And he opened that door for me to work here, and I've been here for 7 years.
Wow.
And yeah, that's basically how I started with the theater, and then here.
So it was more engineer, not necessarily producing. It was
Well, I
engineer
did-
driven.
I did when I first originally signed up for the program. It was to make music in Ableton. I liked making music. I even had like 2 albums out at the moment with a student who worked here as well. It was all like boom bop,
Mm-hmm.
and
And where can you plug that in if any?
that's already
That's gone.
yeah, that's
Really?
gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at right now, but we did make 2 albums with him and a couple other people. But
One day, if you find that, I'd like to take a listen
Yeah.
to it. I think
yeah,
that'd be
if
cool.
I find it, I'll send you guys the link. But
We'll sample that.
Would you
shit.
would you mind would you mind if you do find it that we could share it on here, like a little clip in the
again, if I find it,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where it is. 'Cause I think I uploaded it on TuneCore, and once if you don't pay like
after that? They,
yearly,
yeah,
they take it down. And I think at that time I had also cleaned up my computer, so probably
Yeah,
got deleted. But yeah, I did start. It all started with making music in Ableton. I really liked it, but the more I got into it, the more I realized that I wanted to be more in the technical aspect rather than the music production.
which what I like about this program is that you have both as an opportunity, which
Yeah.
I think they like combine, you know. And now they have also you could major in performing.
Yeah, there's a lot of students who do both, who realize that hey, I like this program, but also like the performing aspect of it. So there's different ways that you can go about it.
Now that we like talking about the program, like, do you feel like there's anything that could like big change or what do you call it? Yeah, like any improvement, anything that you think they could add to the program in general.
For music tech, you're talking about?
For music technology.
I think they did change it a little bit because when I started, it was more in depth. Like we had to take sight singing 1 and 2. We had to take music theory 1 and 2 with professors that were not even involved in the music tech program necessarily, like Ulibarri and Fabricio and Hilberry. Those were other professors that were more in the performing aspect of it. So I think it's changed a little bit towards more aligned with students who want to make music and specialize in tech, not so much the performing. So right now, I don't know how that program is looking, but I know that it's changed so that it's more aligned with tech students. But I think it could still improve. They could probably add some more classes to it. But again, I'm not too sure what it looks like right now.
So since you kind of mentioned Ableton earlier, kind of wanted to ask, why do you prefer Ableton? Or what do you like? What are its
What's
perks
the
and-
best DAW?
No, wait.
We're getting into that.
What was your first DAW?
Oh yeah, what was
Yeah.
your first one?
Yeah, or what did you first use to record?
I bet
if
you wasn't no damn
remember?
Fruity Loops. I bet
Trying
you
to say
that.
Audacity.
It was the cracked version of FL Studios.
That's a start. That's a start.
Yeah, let's go.
I think a lot of us start that way, a cracked version of it, just
Hell
to try it
no.
out and feel it
Yeah.
out, see how it
But
goes.
what version do you have? Like the first couple ones, or like it was?
Oh
like
yeah,
what-
what?
yeah.
Yeah, do you remember? Like, was it
No,
FL12 or?
When I
don't.
started, it was
11?
FL11.
He
I
started
honestly
with
don't remember.
he started with FL1.
Oh,
No, I honestly don't remember which FL it was, but I know it was a cracked version of FL. And I liked it, it was cool to get ideas going, but once I found Ableton, it was just
I feel like
it was way too
Ableton's-
easy for me.
I feel like Ableton has the perfect blend of almost a little bit of everything. Like
It does.
like I feel like
Look who's
literally.
talking.
No, like I feel like it has dope aspects from FL, from Logic, and from what else?
Yo, for the last year and a half, this man be giving me grief about FL is the best, bro. FL
Dude,
all
honestly,
day,
Ableton-
all day, FL forever.
No,
Now you want to switch up on Ableton,
you're-
bro?
you're-
stop.
What was it
You're
that
over
Castillo
it,
said about FL being
It's
like
fast food.
It's
Fast
fast
food,
food.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the fast food of DAW.
Nothing wrong with fast food every now
Yeah,
and then,
bro.
though, right?
It's
Yeah, just
Taco
too much
Bell.
of it and you'll die. So that's
I mean,
I mean, to be honest, all DAWs do the exact same thing. Whether you use
Yeah.
Logic, Ableton, Fruity Loops, or even Pro Tools. If you can do what it is you want to do and you feel comfortable and you find a workflow that works for you, then go for it.
exactly.
No one at the end is going to be like, hey, I can tell you recorded that in Pro Tools, or I can tell you recorded that in Ableton, or Fruity Loops, or Logic. Nobody's going to be able to do that.
what do you think of that misconception of like, oh, every DAW has a color? Like that's
I think that's bullshit.
yeah.
I think that's
No,
racist.
Maybe to a certain extent, but I don't think so. I think it just comes down to what you feel comfortable with, and if it works for you, it works for you. If you can,
Right.
I'm sure there's people that can make bangers in freaking Pro Tools, and there's people
Yeah.
who can't make it in Ableton or vice versa. So it just depends. For me, at least, I loved Ableton because you just got ideas in quick. You're
Yeah.
able to grab I
Yeah.
don't know, per se, a sample and then a drum kit and then start recording like right away like that and get ideas going
Yep.
really fast.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
So you say you started with FL, the correct version of FL.
And
Arturo, what'd you start with?
Audacity.
Audacity.
But that was like I had two because I had one called like Anvil Studios or whatever. It was just for like MIDI.
what
Right.
the
And,
fuck,
like,
Anvil Studio?
I don't know.
What shit
never
were you
heard of it.
forging,
Some
bro?
free shit.
that DAW low-key sound Amish as hell. I don't know. It just sounds like just out of nowhere.
Amish Studio.
It had a basic version of like a MIDI sequencer. So I would download VSTs and then like I'd print the audio from like whatever drum track and then import it into
Sounds like
Audacity.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
I've never used Audacity.
Lewis, what was your first?
Kind of sounds like almost like
I
Reason,
mean,
bro.
I had two first. Like, if you want to talk about
The
making
first,
music,
first.
making music,
Yeah.
Cubase,
Okay. Cubase.
Okay.
recording, Audacity.
Cubase.
What was your
I
first?
first recorded with Audacity.
Uh-huh.
Like that was like I would like download beats off YouTube, drag them on the SD with the USB microphone, and play that shit to my computer.
Bro,
And
the
I'll be
effects.
like,
Yeah.
Bro, but
yo, record, dog. This is
like
straight fire.
everybody starts with a cracked version of their DAW, bro.
No,
'Cause
I didn't. No, look.
my Cubase was cracked.
No, like, dude, I did.
Is it
I
still
did.
cracked?
I don't have it no more.
Bro, I convinced.
Cracking his ass. That's what it is.
I convinced my mom for my birthday to buy me FL. So she
Oh,
bought me, but the
shit.
basic version. She might have been, like, obviously not the. But back then, I remember, even now, like, spending, like, whatever, 100, 150 for, like, a software was like, whoa, like, that's a
Shit,
lot of
yeah.
money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like,
The teenager. You're gonna
yeah,
have more
exactly.
money.
So, but I convinced my mom. I was like, "Oh, I promise you, I'll make you a song. I'll do this." I was like, trying to get
I'll make
it.
us.
I'll make you a song.
Bro, I went from crack Cubase to crack
Mama,
FL.
I love you.
No, but little does she know, we were just downloading hip hop beats and rapping shit that we never did in Weston. Yeah, I went to go shoot up your crib. I'm from the town of West End.
I actually made it once I realized that Ableton was the choice for me. I actually paid the money for it, which was like the sweet version, which you have everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the time was like 1,000 or something like that.
That shit expensive.
And
still.
I paid the full amount, not knowing that you could get a huge discount if you're a student. At the time, I was, but I never used it, so I didn't know.
Did you call customer service?
No, I just dealt with it. I mean, it's an
I would have called
investment.
customer service, bro. I would have been.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I
Nah.
would. I would have.
I think Julian would have.
Yeah, bro.
I actually think he
I
would.
think customer service.
done
I
that.
would have done
given him
what
the 50%.
Gonzalo did. Like, bro,
I mean,
Oh, well.
I saw it as an
Nah,
Oh,
nah.
well.
I would have been. I could have saved some money in this bitch. Motherfucker, give me back my money before I uninstall
and
Ableton.
that's how he calls customer service.
You're gonna be.
Give
I'm
my
gonna leave you
shit.
at 1-star review.
No. I'm really nice. The trick is, okay, I exaggerated, but trick is if you get most of the time if you're nice to them and you're like, how's your day? Like, what you been up to? What's the fam? Like, what's good with the fam? I'm telling you, most people they just instantly they lighten up, you know, and then they might help you out.
The
You
It
know?
girl-
goes
a
back
girl-
to how you communicate with people.
Yes.
You have to have good
Yes.
communication.
I feel like a
skills.
girl
Yeah.
answer your phone call and she's like, customer service. You're like, what up, shorty? Let me get that 50%.
That's what I was thinking. Hey, shorty, I got you.
Damn, you
Studio
sound
time
fine.
for
What's
a
up,
low.
Shorty? What?
What time can I pull up?
But yeah, I
pick you
saw
up
it as
from
an
work.
I saw it as an investment. I paid the money because I knew that it was
You're
something
making
that
investments out here.
that I was gonna use regularly. You know, whether it's production or mixing, I just saw it as an investment.
I mean, that's how I bought my FO license. 'Cause
So
I
you
was
actually
like,
bought
I had it cracked. So at first I went from Cubase to Ableton cracked, and then FO cracked because one of my friends showed me, and I was like, shit, let me try it. And then I tried for like 3 years, and then I was like, oh shit, let me
Well,
actually buy it.
I had the RIP version of Ableton, and I was using that. That was my favorite. Like, I wasn't gonna move on to anything else until, like, I think the software realized that I stole it from someone.
How?
I don't know what happens, but all of a sudden it says
What?
like, it's like, oh, the license is not recognizing this device or whatever. I'm like, so it just
Maybe they
it-
update.
No,
it
so
or
what it would do, it would stop me from importing any audio files.
Oh yeah, it put you as the demo version.
Yeah.
pretty
Right.
much.
So like I
Yeah.
couldn't put my producer tag on anything. Like I could, it was,
You're
and that was really
limited.
pissing me off. So I was like, all right, let me go buy it. And then I seen this $800. I was like, I don't know, man. I seen Logic and I seen everybody else use Logic. I was like, like $300 forever? Like, all right, that's the one for me right there. But then I started using it. I actually really like Logic.
Now,
So
how many licenses did you get with Ableton? Just one?
Just one, the sweet version. That was it. So after that, I think you have to pay if you want to upgrade. I think like when I bought it, I bought
You
Ableton
have to
9
pay
or
to
10,
upgrade it, bro. That's
and not right now. So I,
I mean,
think at like
FO too.
11 or 12. So
No.
you,
You
just have to
upgrade. You
upgrade.
upgrade to
No.
a higher license. You gotta pay more. You
Yeah.
just pay
No.
less because you
Oh,
use
I
your
mean,
credit.
yeah. If you pay, let's say the FL that comes with all the plugins, and yeah. But
Like-
if you don't have to pay for each update, you know,
No,
I
for
like update
updates,
like
no.
to update the software.
Not
I don't think-
updates, but for example, like when I bought it, I think it was 9 or 10, and I paid the amount for Ableton itself. And then
Yeah.
if you want to upgrade, say to like Ableton 11 or 12,
Oh.
you have to pay an extra amount to
Oh
actually.
wow, I did not know
Yeah.
that. I did not know.
But
that.
it's not as much as buying like the whole thing at once, you know.
Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah. So was there anything like any other career or anything that you could have done rather than audio
What?
than audio technology.
What was the last phrase? Say that one more time.
I swear, I think Lou just get lazy with his words. He don't say technology; he said technology. Yeah.
Audio technology.
I'm gonna just cut out few cut out few of the letters.
So
We'll be all
was
right.
there a moment that could have changed, like,
The outcome of
like-
your career.
Of like you choosing to be in audio technology?
Like any other, let's say you saw.
What you mean? He was about to be Inter Miami's goalie, bro.
I mean, yeah, for the longest time I did want to pursue soccer as like an actual career, but I'm asthmatic, so I couldn't. That changed real quick. But there was a moment where I did want to pursue a higher education in terms of audio engineering, which was getting my bachelor's in Berlin in SAE. I had applied to SAE. I got accepted, but because of visa requirements, it didn't happen. But I'm sure that could have changed my career completely, because I did want to. My whole point to go there was to actually work at as an audio engineer at the places where they perform a lot of classical music and operas and stuff like that. That was what I ideally wanted to go for, to work in as an audio engineer.
Do you still want to do that, or how do you
I mean,
feel
I would
about
love
that?
to, but
I mean, if the opportunity were to present itself eventually, would you?
yeah, but the language is another barrier, man. Like, you have to be like, the
Okay.
way that we're talking right now is the way that I would have to talk in German, and unfortunately, I'm not there. I took German classes here, but it's hard.
Hey man, if you want to teach me some basics and I can help you, I'll be more than willing to.
all I know in German is Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, wie geht's?
What does that mean? Big.
How's it going?
Oh, yo.
I just-
Guten Tag. Biget.
Guten
Guten Tag?
Tag.
Guten Tag. Biget.
Ich heiße Julian.
How do you say?
Ich heiße.
Ich heiße.
Heiße. Ich heiße Julian.
Ich heißen. Julia. Ich heißen.
Julian?
I'm not gonna say it.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the question, I think that would have changed my career completely, because I would have been over there. But since that opportunity didn't come to fruition, I landed jobs here that wasn't expecting that I would land. Like the broadcasting gig, which has been amazing for me, has been a really great experience. And the church gig, which has also been very nice. You know, it has its ups and downs, but
Oh,
it's a good gig.
grace. Oh, holy.
The thing about that, there's a lot of as you guys, when you guys get gigs and you guys become the A1s, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with different personalities that are also trying to get involved in the mix. So sometimes at the church there is like 4 different opinions on how the mix should be, and unfortunately, it's like, man, it's only one mix.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to compromise on what each of us wants, and sometimes that could be challenging, dude. It can be very challenging, because it's not that I don't want to accommodate everyone's opinions, but it's like we can't.
I mean, how do you feel about making a career in audio engineering, like taking classes and getting a degree? Do you think it's important nowadays as it was in the past, or do you feel like people can just not have to go to school for it? And just
It's a good question. I think. Look, I think from what I've learned being in it for 7 years, and from the other audio engineers that I've met, it all comes down to who you know. You sometimes have to be at the right place at the right time, and the opportunity will come. And sometimes you can be without a degree or just starting out, or whatever the situation is. It mostly comes down to who you know and the right timing. But you can never go wrong with getting a higher education. Like I said, I wanted to do the bachelor's for myself, not because I felt like I had to, but it's because I wanted to learn more than what I knew at the moment.
But do you feel like in the gigs that you have done throughout like your the years that you have of experience as an engineer, do you feel like they have ever judged you based on your on you having a degree or not?
Absolutely no. They don't even ask that. They honestly don't even ask that. They will like I said, it comes down to your skills. Like what do you have learned and how you can apply it to each gig. Because man, you can look at a board and know how to work and not have any degree whatsoever. But if you know how to work the board, you're good.
GG.
Like I'll give you a good example. Like when I started out in Hollywood Performing Arts, I didn't even graduate. I was still in the program, and they had applications from students who had graduated from like Full Sail, and they didn't take them in. But I was already in because I had showed the TD that hey, I can't do this, you know. So that's an example that somebody was trying to apply with already a degree from a credible university, and they didn't take him in, and there I was with no degree at the moment, getting the gig and running the show.
So I kind of wanted to ask, based on your experience, what do you think is the, I guess, future of the industry? Because let's say back in the day, people could make businesses, you know, running a studio and stuff like that, and now everything is in the box. So it's kind of, I mean,
home studios.
Yeah, exactly, home studios and stuff like that. So there's like some things have been cut out that where you can't really make a business out of.
Or it's maybe not as profitable as maybe it was once was. So
and you know, like, where do you think the money's at in this day and age?
I think
Also, too. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
that might be a little bit general for G, because I think he works not only like mainly as a A2 or my bad, A1. Sorry,
Projecting. Okay.
And
I'm the A1.
And I mean, from my understanding, you're maybe not so involved in the musical aspect of things as of right now, you know. So I don't know.
Well, I was gonna piggyback on that and just be like, well, not only what are your opinions on like the future of the music industry, but also too like what, if you're able to share it with us, what are your future like goals? What are some goals that you have yet to achieve or that you've set for yourself or anything like that?
Man, some of the things that I really wanted to try out, like, I think I've told you, I watch UFC a lot. And it's those type of productions that I would like to be involved in, like running the audio for a UFC event. It's a huge event that's growing.
Yep.
So whether it's running the actual show or being an A2 for that, or just placing the mics and being part of the production like that, is something that I would definitely love at some point. Also, if some of you watch soccer, the Champions League, it's like the top thing that you can be at soccer, and being part of a production like that is something that I would love to in the future. I actually know a student who has actually studied here. His name is Herman, and he works at Vista, where they do a lot of broadcasting for.
I know Herman.
For the Colombian guy.
Yeah, he got the mustache. Yeah, I know him.
The Lee mustache.
Yeah, I know.
He works in broadcasting at Vista, and they do a lot of soccer broadcasting. And he's involved in that. Now, they offered me a position there, but at the moment I was busy with another broadcasting gig, and I let that one pass. But he works there, and I would love to at some point go back to that because it's entertaining. I love soccer, and it will be great to work in something related to soccer.
I mean, you working and you watching the game.
Man, it doesn't get better than that.
Imagine if you would have like gone to the World Cup or something and like helped set up their
That would be freaking awesome. That'd be
like
great.
in Dubai.
You mean when he goes to the World Cup to do it?
He will be like, goal! Okay, put the compression on there.
Yeah, it's definitely it's like I would like to be involved in big productions like that. Like I said, Champions League or UFC or something that's, much bigger than me per se. But for sure, yeah, I do have those plans. Hopefully in the near future it'll happen. Yeah.
You heard it, guys. If y'all are tapped in, have a connection, someone you know.
Yo, Dana White, bro. Hook this man up, bro.
For real,
Put
dog.
this man, yo. You got what's his face? Alex Pereira and fighting coming up. You gotta put this man on the damn card.
Put me
the
in the
roster.
match with Yuri against Pereira. That'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think you have one final question.
Oh, no,
that you
wait, I
wanted
have
to-
one last question before that. besides music, do you have any other hobbies or anything else you like to do? I guess outside of work, you know what I mean? That
Like outside of audio.
yeah,
and-
yeah, like on your in your personal time.
was gonna ask
I
you.
wanted to. I guess not so on a technical aspect, more just
I love playing soccer. I recently just got back to playing soccer, and that I love doing it, man. It's something completely unrelated to audio, but I do love doing that. I love playing chess. So chess is something that I really love playing, and video games. I love playing a lot of video games. So whenever I'm not doing audio stuff, I'm probably
Which games you playing?
raging in FIFA or UFC or
Yes,
Mortal Kombat,
Nice.
things like
Ooh.
that.
Do you play with someone, or you play?
Yeah, I have a group
online?
of friends that we play. It's funny. We play pro clubs, which is basically like your starting 11 is people that you can play with, not just randoms, and it gets really toxic really fast. But it's a very fun time. I love playing that. Yeah.
Cool, awesome, man. You guys.
There was a
last-
certain question that you guys wanted to end
My last
on.
question will be, if you
Thank you
could
for
work
sharing
with
that. Thank you for sharing that. By the way. My bad.
if you could work with another engineer, like a famous person or somebody that you really like how they work, and learn from their techniques and tricks, who would it be and why?
So one of the ones that I mentioned was Herman. Herman,
Right.
he was a student here, and he was one of those students that from the beginning think we clicked, we got along, and he knew what he was doing. And it would be great to work with him at Vista at some point, hopefully doing broadcasting together. And there was also, when I first landed my broadcasting gig, I had the chance to work with an engineer called Marcelo Sanhuesa, and he's probably twice my age, but he's basically helped me a lot when I first started that gig, because it was a brand new board and I hadn't done broadcasting before. So he led the way for that, and he helped me out a lot understanding the workflow that they had in broadcasting. And he does a lot of touring and different stuff with audio related gigs. So if I can work with him again at some point, it'll be amazing. So Herman and Marcelo will probably be great engineers to work at in the future.
All right, so I guess
I think
We can
one of you
say-
had one specific question that you wanted to end on.
so if there was one piece of advice that you could offer to someone, whether they're coming up in the program or they're coming up just in the music industry in general, what's your piece of advice for them?
Man, ask as many questions as you can. Learn as much as you can, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
They make fun
and-
of me because I ask too many questions, bro.
No, that's not the reason we make fun of you. That is not the reason we make fun of you.
Here's the thing.
We make fun of you because your
Don't ask-
questions take 8 hours long.
Don't ask the same
That's why.
questions that you have already been answered.
You know, I'm sure we can
Okay.
cut to a few parts in this interview where you're taking 50 years to ask the question.
I wanted to touch on a topic because I guess now that we're getting to this point of a conversation, I was curious if involved in and kind of also educational like the pros and cons you would say within your industry or your field of work, and how do you best describe that, in what you do?
But it's
50
okay.
years.
Yes.
50 years.
Yes.
But yeah, going back to my advice is, man, learn as much as you can, ask as much as you can, and don't be afraid to sometimes mess up. At the beginning, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough, but just learn as much as you can. Ask questions, and everything that you learn here, you can apply in any other gig. So network as much as you can, ask questions, and always be polite. You never know who you're gonna meet along the way at the right place at the right time, and you have to be ready whenever that opportunity comes. So just learn as much as you can. Don't be afraid of messing up, because it will happen. It's better to mess up in smaller gigs than when it is in bigger gigs.
Giant
So
one.
You don't want to mess up while
You don't want to mess up for the
they'll
UFC
fire
event.
you.
You know?
I'm telling you,
Daniel
they'll
might look at you like, "Fuck you."
Dana might want to be yo. You want to get in the octagon?
With me?
All right,
wrap it
so Gigi, I wanted to say thank you, man, for coming on the podcast and
And thank you for
allowing
all
us
your
to
help here, too.
Yeah, in your help here,
For all the help you give
allowing
us.
us to interview you. And man, bro, I think honestly this was a really productive podcast. So
I think it was a great experience.
hopefully
Yeah.
I answered all your questions.
no, yeah, you
definitely.
did, you did,
and
And more.
yeah. So
Great.
well, guys,
Where
I
am I
don't even know where
looking?
we're looking.
this right here, this
Yeah.
one or this one, whichever one you want. Or this one.
So make sure follow us on all our socials at The Musical Chairs, and then at _ Arturo Santana, at Lurv Beats, at The Official SAGAWOLF, at GringoLoco Productions. Do you want to give your at?
At probably zooted underscore.
Probably Zooted _ yeah. You know, high,
Keep it real.
I love it.
high on Sonics, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's all good.
remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification button so that you can get notified anytime we post a video or a new episode of the podcast.
And please, please make sure you guys comment and let us know what you guys want to see in future episodes.
Yes.
Maybe who you want to see in future episodes. I don't know if we can swing who you want to see, but we'll see. Anybody
Mariana
else?
would be a great person to interview.
Who's that?
Mariana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
we've got some plans with some
Zion.
people. Yeah, Zion.
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 What's that? Zion.
CM.
No, Zion Williamson. No, it's Zion. We're getting Zion
Just for
Williamson.
you saying
Yeah.
the
Trying to
name wrong,
say-
she's going to say no.
Yeah.
We're trying to say
Julian.
Stallion and Lennon.
Yo, cut that out. Edit that.
No.
Cut it.
We're gonna get Zion Williamson in the NBA. We're gonna get him here because he knows everything about music, apparently. But it's fine, you know, it's all right. But yeah, thank you to you guys. Thank you again, Gonzalo. Thank you for tuning in,
Yes.
and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
Alright.
Take care.
Peace.
Take care.
Great.
All right. Very good.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you again, Gonzalo.
Yeah, man.